Hello YouTube, Fuzz here, welcome back to Final Fantasy IV, and today we're going to be having a rematch against Skulliglione, which was the boss we fought in the last episode, but this time against a tougher version, so please do stick around and join me as we go and attempt that boss. And if you enjoy this episode, don't forget to hit the like button and be subscribed to the Fuzzfinger Gaming YouTube channel. So in the end of the last episode, we fought that boss, and he wasn't particularly challenging, but he's gone off, strengthened himself up a bit, and now we're going to have a rematch. So we're going to head towards the bridge, but before we actually come off the bridge, there's one thing I want you to do. That's to go to the party menu and swap rows, so that all those in the back row in the front, etc, etc, Cecil goes to the back. The reason for that is that this guy attacks us from behind, and this is one way of alleviating that problem. In fact, the only way that I know of. So Skulliglione is back and stronger than before. And boy does he look ugly. Okay, so here's the interesting bit of information that you need to know. He has a nasty counter attack if you attack him physically, and he silences any character that attacks with offensive magic. So that pretty much forces you into a single strategy, and that is this: have Cecil heal with items. That's going to pretty much be his job, and have the others do the same, and have Paladin attack the boss with Cura, and have Teller attack the boss with Cura. As you can see, that's going to do a nice amount of damage, and we'll just keep Cecil on the defensive. And that's pretty much all we need to do throughout this fight. Just use your potions wisely, and have everybody else, by everybody else I mean the two characters that can do so, heal the boss. Well, attack him with healing spells. You know what I mean. It'll probably take about 10 attacks to get this done. It gets to be a little bit annoying if you run out of potions, because then you're going to have to use your healing spells on your characters as well as on the boss. So another cure. And we'll just defend on Cecil. Now Cecil can counter-attack, but I don't believe the boss can counter-attack from Cecil's counter-attack, so you're okay to basically do nothing. Let's just defend on some of our other characters for a short while, see if we can finish this guy off before they're killed. He's potentially got one of the highest amounts of health for any boss that we've fought up until this point anyway. By quite a large margin, it's got to be said. So just try and keep everyone alive, and you'll be fine. I've lost track of how many Curas we've cast, but it looks like that's going to be enough. Down he goes. And we get a nice batch of experience for that, and a nice load of gil as well. Always good to see Cecil levelling up. And first thing we're going to do is just, at this point, just map the area. And we should get a red fang for doing so. There we go. And now, interestingly, we're going to unequip a character. And that character is Cecil. So we're going to just remove all his equipment there. And we're going to approach the monument, and a cutscene will commence.
Long have I awaited this, the day that you would come. A tragedy unfolds now, which pains me more than you can know. To end it, I will gift to you my light. Though in so doing, I condemn myself to sorrow greater still. But the hour is late. No other road remains. The time has come. Bid farewell to your blood-stained past. Forsake the darkness you once embraced, or the light will find no hold. Vanquish the Dark Knight. You and he are one no more.
There are two of them.
What's happening? Cecil, look out!
Stay back. This is a fight for me and me alone. My atonement for all the sins I've wrought. My test. And one I do not mean to fail.
Now, this is an interesting turn of events. Cecil is now a paladin and is fighting against himself, in particular his dark self. All we need to do in this story encounter is to defend. We just have to get through so many rounds. There are victories of greater worth. Someday you will know them.
Your virtue is proven. I will instill you now with hallowed light, formed of my very soul. May it be your strength, though it be the last of mine. My son, you must stop Goldberg.
Wait!
Cecil is now a paladin. Yay! Now, Cecil is a new job, if you like, if you want to call it that, which is a Final Fantasy term, really, which is the paladin class. And he starts at level 1 again because we love levelling. Also, a bit of a mystery with who that voice was that was talking to Cecil a few moments ago. You'll notice that it did refer to Cecil as my son. So just bear that in mind, but I won't say anything else at the moment. And not only has Cecil changed, but Teller has just recalled his forgotten spells as well. In particular, the Meteor spell. And after that set of cutscenes, we once again have control of our party. And Cecil is in his paladin form now. That voice, it said my son. So a couple of things we need to do before we actually move on out of here. And by the way, we can just teleport out when we're ready now, but I'm not going to do so just yet, and I'll explain why in a moment. First things first, look at that, Cecil starts off with 600 health at level 1. It's not too bad. We need to swap those again, so that everybody goes back to where they should be. And I did tell you to buy some equipment when we was in the previous town. Oops. So let's go ahead and equip that now. We've got the lustrous shield. A nice boost to stats there. And in fact, all of this lustrous stuff is what we want to equip. We'll go for the Bard's Tunic. And we'll continue to boost Cecil's evasion rating, I suspect. There we go. And looks like the silver armor, it's good for everybody else. So we're going to head back to the save point now, obviously, and save our game. Once you're saved, you're going to want to head back towards the previous area, towards the previous floor of this dungeon. And Cecil will level quite quickly. I've done 2 battles and he's level 8 already. One thing I did forget to mention is just make sure you equip that counter ability back on Cecil, since he won't have it equipped once he's transferred to a paladin. Right then, so we're going to continue along the path. And this time we're looking for something a little bit different. And already for me, Cecil's damage is starting to increase. When he was level 1, he did 7 damage on each physical attack, so not that great. But now he's doing close to 200, I think it was, at level 8 or 9, whatever it is he's reached. Okay, so we've come down the eastern side here, and we can see there's some sparkly stuff on the floor. I'm going to go ahead and activate it. I'm getting a new augment, the curse augment. So what I want us to do with this is give it to Palom, although don't actually equip it on her for now, but just teach it to her. Although this only really applies if it's your first playthrough. Go to key items here, then there's the curse ability, and we're going to give it to Palom. But that's all we need to do for now. We don't need to equip it or anything else. Right, the only other thing that I recommend is make sure you fought a Lilith, and I haven't, so I'm going to spend a bit of time levelling Cecil and looking around for one. Once you've fought a Lilith, they are quite rare, so it might take a bit of time, then you can use the teleport ability to make your way back out to the world map. I've just killed my first Lilith, so we can actually leave this area now. It took me about 10-15 minutes of fighting the other monsters in order to get one to spawn. I don't know, I'm casting a sooner. I want to cast teleport to get out of this place. I managed to get Cecil up to level 13, I believe. Let me just check that. Yeah, 13. But as before, I wanted to try and level him to about level 17. In the same way that we did to these others, Parum and Palom, earlier on before we went into that dungeon. So it's going to be back to fighting these zoo monsters, the giant birds. But Cecil no longer has access to death, so just cast Thunderar, and they'll die pretty darn quickly, it's got to be said. And try and get Cecil to at least level 17. These aren't zoos. Once Cecil is level 17, he should have some nice stats again. And we're just going to head back into the Chocobo Forest. You can heal up if you want to. But the main reason we're here is to jump on the Chocobo himself in order to take us back to Mysidia. Since it was a bit of a walk, a bit of a journey if you remember. And it's nice now to have the option of heading back without any more random enemy encounters. So we'll just follow the path. And where is our party, by the way? Because I can see the Chocobos running, but I can't see anybody else. Normally you have your main character riding them in Final Fantasy games, don't you? We'll save again. And we are 7 hours and 41 minutes into the game. 45 even. And we'll head inside and go and speak to the Elder. And tell him the news that we've become a paladin now. So it seems like this was the plan all along. Birthed from womb of dragon's maw, and bore unto the stars, by light and darkness cast aloft, and dreamtide oaths resworn. Moony swathed in everlight, ne'er again to no eclipse, earth with hallowed bounty reconciled. Interesting words. And here Cecil is going to mention the fact that the voice referred to him as his son. So there's definitely something going on with Cecil, isn't there? He's more than meets the eye, as they say. So Tellar speaks words of wisdom. We can stand around chatting about Cecil and what his purpose is. But all the while we do that, the evil villain Golbez is causing rampage. No surprise then that Palom and Parom are going to be joining us. Not that we have much choice in the matter. And we now have access to the Devil's Road, which will take us back towards Baron. So we're going to do that next. That's going to be the next part of our adventure. But I'm going to finish things off here for today, guys. So thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. It's actually taken me longer to record than perhaps it's taken you to watch, because I've had to edit out quite a few battles and grinding sections. But hopefully, if you're following along, then this walkthrough is also being helpful to you. If it is, let me know in the comments section. I always appreciate support from you folks. And come back and join me next time as we continue on with Final Fantasy IV. So see you then, take care.